So I was born a bit differently. I was born with typically female sex characteristics, even though I was meant to be male. It was something that I did feel deeply, deeply shameful about. In my eyes, I was a bit of a failure of a female. I'm Mimi, I'm 26, and when I was 21, I learned that I was intersex. When I was born, doctors had told my parents that I was a perfectly healthy baby girl. My childhood was fairly typical, except I had these yearly medical checkups, but didn't know why. When I was 12, I was sat down in the doctor's office with my parents, and the doctors let me know that I had this variation called 17-beta-hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase deficiency. I couldn't even read it, let alone comprehend it. It meant that I had XY chromosomes, but I'm deficient in an enzyme which converts the testosterone to develop typically male. They told me I wouldn't be getting my period, I couldn't have kids, and that I had internal testes when I was very little that had to be removed. And that's why I had to now start taking hormone replacement therapy, or as I was told, this drug for the rest of my life. I remember my whole vision going white and feeling like I just wanted to burst into tears. Throughout the conversation though, I remember being reassured that I was definitely female and that I was a girl. I just wasn't able to do the things that typical girls can do. I was also told that I couldn't tell any of my siblings or any of my friends about this. In their eyes, it was to try and protect me from potential bullying, but for me, I really took this sign of secrecy and internalized it as shame, and it was something that I did feel deeply, deeply shameful about. I was trying to meet all of the milestones of normal teenage girls, going out with boys and kissing them and doing all of these like normal girly things. I would make up stories about how I got my period, and it was almost like I was worried that people would ask questions, and if they'd ask questions, they'd find out that I was broken. In my eyes, I was I guess a bit of a failure of a female. When I was 21, I stumbled on this video by Emily Quinn, who's this intersex activist, and it just clicked something. I was like, I think I might be intersex. I called my parents up and I said, hey, am I intersex? And they go, yeah, we told you have 17-beta-hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase deficiency. For me, that wasn't the same thing. And for me, learning that I was intersex was just absolutely mind-blowing. It made me feel that no, I wasn't a failure of a female because I'm not a female in the first place. It made me so, so happy that there were other people like me, and not only just a few, there were actually so many other people like me. About 1.7% of our population is intersex. It's actually approximately the same statistic as the amount of redheads. You most likely will be walking down the street and be walking past intersex people. It also helped me shatter this narrative of heteronormativity. You need to be a girl, you need to identify as a woman, you need to be attracted to males. It gave me the opportunity to question my sexuality and eventually come out as gay. The surgeries that I had as a young girl definitely still leave a big impact on my life. Now we know that this surgery was not necessary. I now have to take this medication, which potentially I didn't have to, and being essentially sterilized from such a young age is really damaging. Luckily, I've got an amazing support network, and I know that everything that happened to me was with the best intentions possible, and I really hold no anger to my parents. They do wish that they'd been given the support to delay the surgeries. As much regret that they may feel, I think it's something we just need to hold together. So it's been about 5 years since I first discovered that I was intersex. Gosh, that feels like a while, but I guess a lot has happened since then. So I'm now studying a Masters of Nursing and really keen to pursue a career where I'm able to help people who are so vulnerable. I do a lot of trainings, so for government and non-government organisations, to help educate them about what intersex issues are. A lot of people confuse it with gender diversity or being trans. And I think that really boils down to this conflation of sex and gender, thinking that male is a man and female is a woman, whereas it's only when you disconnect these two concepts that you can understand you can be male and a woman, and that would be a trans woman. Or in my case, be born intersex but identify as a woman. Experiencing difficulty has led me to be such a strong advocate for change. There's this saying, you can't be what you can't see. And I think that's so true. Hopefully, I can be that person who is intersex and is open and doesn't hold shame around that, so that other intersex people can see me and know that they're able to be proud of who they are. If you want to learn more or read more, please read the links in the comments.